Jacksonville, Alabama native Lilly Ledbetter paved the way for working women all across the country. With her lawsuit against Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, she was fighting, as you know, for equal and fair pay, and it made it all the way to the Supreme Court in 2006, ultimately leading the way for the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act. Her brave story, though, has now been made into a movie that premieres this Friday.
You're a country girl who grew up swimming in Doc Brewster's pond.
That's right. So I know how to burn off a leech.
Award-winning actress Patricia Clarkson stars as Lilly Ledbetter in the movie Lilly. She joins us by Zoom now to talk about this. Patricia, first of all, very nice to meet you, and I'm so honored to talk to you about this.
Thank you. What a privilege to be here.
As we were honored enough here in Birmingham to be able to interview Miss Ledbetter many times over her journey, and just an incredible woman, and to watch what happened to her and how brave she was, it really was something to watch. Were you well familiar with her story because of all the national publicity before this?
Well, I was well familiar with the great Lilly Ledbetter because I'm the baby of 5 daughters. Mm-hmm. My mother and father raised 5 working women, and my mother, ran a city. So I know what powerhouse women look and feel like. And so this was, again, a gift, a remarkable privilege, the greatest privilege of my career, to step into the shoes of Lilly Ledbetter. They were very big shoes to fill.
Yeah, well, you mentioned your family, and I read that your family was so excited when they learned that you were going to do this role. So this became kind of personal for you, didn't it?
Yes, it did. I'm, like I said, I come from a mother who, was a working woman, but pretty much like Lilly, went to work at 40, had raised us, but then wanted a better life to pay for college educations for us, and we came from very modest means, middle class, and so, but to step into these shoes was, one of the glorious days of my mother's life. She was the first person I called when I said, "Mom, guess where I'm going to play?" And she said, "Oh, Patty, who?" I said, "Lilly Ledbetter," and she started crying.
Oh, wow. Yeah, for our younger viewers who may not be as familiar with her story, I know this is an exciting time for this movie to come out to tell her story. And for folks who don't remember, she was never compensated like the men at the Goodyear plant. She got an anonymous note letting her know that at one point, and that's how all this started. But I think what I've seen from the clips of the movie, Patricia, is that we're going to learn so much about that behind-the-scenes stuff that she went through that was so difficult.
She was so, the perseverance, the struggle, the strength she had to prevail, to keep going. And yes, she had, amazing Charles, the wind beneath her wings, her extraordinary husband, which is also a beautiful part of the film, this beautiful love story she had, the love of her life, Charles. But she, for a decade, she battled, but yet she worked, she was working. It was so difficult, the work she was doing at this factory. And yet, a good citizen sneaked her a note to let her know that she was making 40% less than those managers, all the male managers that were doing the exact same job. Wow. And yet she was working those night shifts. She was giving up time with her children, giving up time with her husband. An injustice was committed, an injustice that speaks to people across our great country, from the north to the south, to the east, to the west. Lilly represents all of us. Lilly stands for all of us, no matter our race, our creed, our color. Lilly stood for all of us. Injustice is injustice. And she knew she had to stand strong, and she did, in spite of a lot of slings and arrows being thrown at her.
So what can you share with us about your conversations with her? For folks who don't know, we lost Lilly Ledbetter toward the end of last year, but she got to see this film, didn't she?
She did. She loved the film. And let me tell you something interesting. Because I had Lilly on such a high pedestal, and my director knew her very, very, very well. I said, "Listen, I know so much about Lilly right now, just me personally. can I meet her at the end? I don't want to play her or portray her. I think I owe her the best of myself. I imprint very quickly. And I said, I really need to come from the inside out to play her. And she was excited. She said, oh, that's how she's going to work. And, you know, well, I'm going to get to meet her at the end. And sadly, you know, one of the biggest regrets I have is we were meant to meet. We were going to debut the film at the Hampton Film Festival. And we did, to glorious, 10-minute standing ovation. She got sick before the Hamptons Film Festival. But she knew the reception was glorious. She knew people were standing and cheering for her, that, you know, this film plays like a rock concert. People scream and cheer in the middle of it. And wherever we are, from, you know, the East Coast to the West Coast, you know, we've played across this great nation, and people cheer her on. And it's really an incredible moment. But Lily is in my heart always. And my mother passed also without seeing this film. And my mother's such a large part of my mother in this film. So it's sorry, I get a little emotional.
That's okay.
This is such an ode to my mother, to Lily. It's the best. I had to bring the best of me. And the best of me is my mother. And the best of me I brought to Lily.
Well, Patricia, I wish I could reach through the television and hug you, because I get it. I feel what you're feeling, and I can't imagine any other actress playing Lilly Ledbetter any better. You're just wonderful, and we look forward to seeing it in the theaters.
Thank you. It's so nice to talk to you.
It's so nice to talk to you too.
It was great, Janet.